Shocking allegations about Princess Diana's death. Authorities now reviewing the new and sensational claim that she was actually murdered by the British government.
The Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident, and that her partner, Dodi Fayed, has also been killed.
Just minutes ago, the royal family stunned everyone with a startling revelation that's reverberating through the palace corridors. Several royals are openly defying tradition, visibly distressed in choosing their own paths. This chaos has resurfaced somber, buried tales, particularly about Princess Diana, whose tragic life and enigmatic demise continue to loom large in the royal saga. With such a sudden and intense disclosure, what other long-concealed stories might emerge? Tune in. Let's unravel the mysteries they've long concealed. Diana's struggle with love and loyalty. Lately, there have been many intriguing stories about the British royal family, revealing some ongoing issues behind palace doors. A few royals seem dissatisfied with their lives and are starting to take their own paths. Amid all this, a surprising detail from past decades has come to light, shared by someone once close to the royal family. This has brought back conversations about the sad and untimely death of Princess Diana. As tensions rise, an old letter from Princess Diana resurfaces, hinting at a secret that could shake the monarchy to its core. Looking back at her life, Diana Spencer was born on July 1, 1961, into a noble family. Known for being shy and quiet, she first met Prince Charles through her older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer. Lady Sarah had a brief relationship with him in the late 1970s, but it ended after she openly said she wouldn't marry him, no matter his royal status. However, this breakup paved the way for her to meet Charles, starting a romance that the whole world would follow closely. In 1980, 19-year-old Diana and 32-year-old Charles began dating, despite their noticeable age gap, which would later cause issues in how they viewed life. While the public was fascinated by their relationship, she felt uneasy from the very start. She was especially bothered by his ongoing feelings for his ex-girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles. Even though he was with her, his emotional distance and lingering feelings for Camilla were clear. Later on, she admitted that she often questioned his commitment to her, especially after hearing him speak fondly of Camilla to a friend, even saying he would always love her. After their engagement was announced, there was a well-known interview where a journalist asked him if he truly loved her. Charles gave a vague answer saying, "Whatever love means," which only made her feel more unsure about their relationship. Even though she had doubts, the pressure from his royal status and her own inexperience made her push those feelings aside. On July 29, 1981, their wedding was held at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, and it was called the Wedding of the Century. The ceremony was broadcast all over the world, with around 750 million people watching. The event was filled with elegance, fitting for a future king and queen. She wore a stunning ivory silk dress designed by David and Elizabeth Emanuel, which had a 25-foot train, adding to the extravagance of the day. More than 3,500 guests, including world leaders, royals, and famous people, attended the event. But all the beauty and glamour couldn't hide the problems in their marriage. Soon after, it became known that Charles was still involved with Camilla, which only made things harder for her. She was already struggling with her role in the royal family, and this only made it worse. While the public saw their marriage as a fairy tale, the truth was much more difficult. Even though the wedding was grand, she dealt with feelings of neglect and loneliness, especially after realizing Charles had stronger feelings for someone else. Even before their marriage officially began, she felt Camilla's presence looming over her relationship with Charles. Despite her early attempts to win Charles's heart, she always felt overshadowed by Camilla, which only added pressure to their marriage over time. This tension became well known when she spoke openly about her struggles in a famous 1995 interview on BBC's Panorama. As her marriage struggles, a new chapter of heartache and public scrutiny begins. Echoes of silence. She explained how she often felt ignored by Charles, longing for his affection but rarely receiving it. She described moments of deep desperation, where she would go to extreme lengths just to get his attention. One particularly distressing moment happened when she was pregnant with their first child, Prince William. In a state of emotional pain, she threw herself down the stairs at Sandringham. hoping Charles would show some concern. But to her disappointment, he barely reacted to her cries for help. This act was a cry for attention, a sign of just how isolated she felt in their marriage. Luckily, the baby was unharmed, but the incident showed the intense emotional struggles she was facing. She admitted to feeling alone and betrayed, especially as she tried to cope with her responsibilities in the royal family, while knowing that Charles's relationship with Camilla was ongoing. Charles's affair with Camilla was a huge point of conflict in their marriage. In the same interview, she famously said that their marriage had 3 people in it, hinting at the deep pain she felt knowing that Charles's heart was divided. As their marriage continued to fall apart, she still tried to fix things, while also finding comfort in her public duties, which brought her recognition and respect for her charitable work. But that wasn't the end of her challenges. These revelations showed just how hard she was trying to find happiness and a sense of belonging, while also dealing with the painful reality of living a public life filled with personal heartache. She found comfort and recognition through her charity work, but at home she faced ongoing struggles. In 1992, she and Charles decided to separate, and by 1996 they officially divorced. During this time, she dealt with a lot of public and private pressure. She often spoke about how hard she tried to fix their relationship, but Charles's close connection with Camilla made it impossible for them to reconcile. When their divorce was finalized, she had come to terms with the fact that she couldn't win Charles's love. Their rocky relationship had left deep emotional scars, but it also helped her become more resilient and independent. Her focus shifted to raising her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, and continuing her humanitarian work. These roles gave her purpose in the years that followed, and she became beloved around the world as the People's Princess. The constant media attention became a dangerous factor on that fateful night. She and Dodi were staying at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, owned by Dodi's father. After spending the evening there, they tried to leave quietly, hoping to avoid the paparazzi that followed them everywhere. Their desire for privacy led to a tragic car accident that ended both their lives and left the world in shock. A group of photographers gathered in front of the hotel, eager to snap pictures, but they slipped out the back door to avoid being seen. They were heading to Dodi Fayed's apartment in Paris. Henry Paul, who was temporarily in charge of security at the Ritz Hotel, was driving. With them was Trevor Rees-Jones, Dodi's personal bodyguard. Unfortunately, as soon as they left, the photographers figured out where they were going and began chasing them aggressively. These same photographers had been following Diana throughout her stay in Paris, and now their pursuit became even more intense as the car sped away. After a devastating crash, a wave of shock and questions follows. The Alma Tunnel incident. The black Mercedes they were riding in raced into the tunnel under the Alma Bridge at a very high speed, trying to get away from the photographers. Sadly, shortly after entering the tunnel, the car crashed into a pillar while going about 65 miles per hour. The impact was devastating. Dodi Fayed and Henry Paul died instantly at the scene, while she was critically injured but still alive. Emergency responders quickly arrived and rushed her to the Pitié-Salpêtrière hospital. The journey took nearly 2 hours, but despite all the medical efforts, she passed away a few hours later. Trevor Rees-Jones, the bodyguard, survived, though he was severely injured and faced a long road to recovery. But that wasn't the most surprising part. When the initial investigation results came out, they were shocking. French authorities revealed that Henry Paul had been drinking, with his alcohol level being 3 times over the legal limit. This was identified as the main reason for the crash. On top of that, it was found that none of the passengers, except for Rees-Jones, had been wearing their seatbelts, which significantly reduced their chances of surviving the accident. The news of her death shocked people all over the world. She wasn't just admired for her beauty and elegance, but also for her kindness and the way she connected with people. Her involvement in humanitarian work and her ability to relate to everyday people made her loved by many. When she passed away, millions mourned her loss, feeling a deep sadness that such a compassionate person was taken so suddenly. There was also a lot of anger directed at the paparazzi, who were often blamed for invading her privacy. This raised important questions about how public figures should be treated and how journalism should be handled more responsibly. Despite these discussions, the world continued to grieve over the sudden and tragic way her life ended. This hit him hard, showing just how much of a deep connection they had built over the years. The unseen trials of a royal confidant. He was deeply shaken when he got the news while on vacation. As time went on, he became an important figure in keeping her memory alive after her tragic passing. He even wrote a few books about his time with her, like A Royal Duty and The Way We Were. These books talked about their close relationship. However, sharing personal details of her, he was arrested and charged with theft, facing the possibility of a long time in prison. Overnight, the media attention around this case became huge, and doubts about Burrell's intentions started to spread. Paul Burrell always claimed he was innocent, saying the items in question weren't stolen. According to him, she was worried her personal things might be used inappropriately after her death, focusing on showing their loyalty to the royal family rather than seeking attention. But that wasn't the end of it. The trial also led to a closer look at how cases involving royal staff were handled, legal turns in future cases. But this wasn't the end of Burrell's involvement in her story. Even after being acquitted, Burrell stayed loyal and continued to draw attention by sharing more details about her life and death. But Burrell's words made people question if there was more to the story. Yet, even with these claims, although a 2008 investigation concluded that she died because of her driver's mistakes and the paparazzi chasing them, some believe that the beloved princess's death might have been more than just an accident. However, no matter the cause, she is remembered for her deep compassion and the way she worked tirelessly to help those who were less fortunate. She showed a genuine care for the vulnerable and the marginalized in society. One of the most memorable things she did was her work around HIV/AIDS. Back in 1987, when many people were still scared and confused about the disease, she made headlines around the world when she shook hands with an AIDS patient without wearing gloves. This was a bold and caring move that helped challenge the misconceptions people had about how the virus was spread. But this wasn't the only time she took a brave stand. In 1997, she gained global attention again by walking through an active minefield in Angola. She was there to support the fight against landmines, and her actions played a big part in the signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned the use of these dangerous weapons. These acts of kindness and courage have made sure that her memory lives on. She didn't just save lives, she changed the way the world thought about important issues, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire compassion and humanity everywhere. What do you think was Princess Diana's most impactful moment? Comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more discussions on historical figures.